Meeting to order. We have an invocation tonight. Okay, we'll move on to pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do you have any changes to the agenda? No.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Sorry, Amy, I'll give you a second. Same sign. Motion passes. Moving on to public comments. This is the time where citizens are encouraged to speak publicly. We request that you come to the podium and state your name and address, speak respectfully, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Are there any public comments?
My name is Katie Jones. I was asked to come here last minute, so I apologize if I'm not doing this right, but I wanted to read something on behalf of somebody who could not attend about the property at 717. Do I need to wait until that time or do I speak now?
Well, that would, okay, so that would be, which property you talking about?
717 East, or no, sorry, 715.
Okay, so that would be, I get, basically for the public hearing, but is that? Yeah, we will have to address that.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I didn't want to miss my chance.
Thanks, Katie. Yeah, we'll invite you back up.
Thanks.
Are there any other public comments? Okay, we'll move on to our public hearing for 715 East 8th Street. The public hearing is now open.
I just wanted to brief everybody real quick on this. 715 East 8th Street was a property that had fire damage to it. And I don't know if much progress is going on, so.
We'll invite for public comments.
I have something to say.
Yes.
Katie Jones. I'm speaking on behalf of Brandon Mai, who is a resident at 717 East 8th. He's neighbor to 715 East 8th. He says, to commissioners and those in charge, my name is Brandon Mai. I currently reside at 717 East 8th Street in Concordia. I will be unable to attend the public meeting tonight at City Hall for comments on the condemning of 715 East 8th Street. So I appreciate if my comments could be considered in my absence. I have lived in my home since November of 2020. In that time, I have seen some very reckless behavior at the location in question. Most recently, the actions that led to a fire destroying a significant portion of the home. Since that fire, I have observed attempts to once again use the heat source that is not safe and could lead to another fire. I have been told there was a fire in this home once before as well. I cannot think it is safe for anyone to inhabit this property as a home. There is also the matter of the house being dangerous in its current condition to the many children in the area. There's debris in several areas around the house that may contain dangerous chemicals. In general, I believe this property to be a public nuisance and should be condemned and razed. Thank you for your consideration, Brandon Mai. I am his ex-wife, and so my daughter spends time over at that house as well, not at the 715, but at Brandon's house. And it is concerning to me as well, knowing that she is around a house that is potentially going to catch fire again, and just some of the iffy behavior. So I would also agree with this statement if that matters at all. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Kate. Are there any other public comments? The public hearing is now closed for 715 East 8th Street. Moving on to the public hearing for 203 West 1st Street. The public hearing is now open. Are there any public comments?
203 is just a property that is blighted and needs to some windows and things like that are busted out, but we do have somebody here that would like to talk about it.
Are there any additional public comments?
I'm addressing the window issue and the paint on 203 West First.
Sir, could you state your name and address?
Oh, it's under Bryson Bennett.
And your name?
My name is Grady Paul Tolman.
Okay.
That it?
And you're addressing the windows?
Yes, the windows and the paint on the property.
As in you're taking care of them or?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Are there any further public comments? Seeing none, the public hearing is now closed. Moving on to our action agenda, resolution 2026-2221, the condemnation of 715 East 8th Street.
I'm here for the approval of resolution for condemnation, repair, or remove. The attached resolution is my recommendation for condemning the property listed. The resolution recommends 0 days to start the process of removal or repair with the application of building permit or demo permit. The property on 715 East 8th Street was damaged by a fire, and the cleanup process has stalled, and I have not seen anything else start. So yeah. Recommended action, approve a resolution with recommended days to start repair or removal as amended.
I'd move to approve resolution 2026-2221, condemnation of 715 East 8th Street.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Resolution 2026-2222, condemnation of 203 West First Street.
Here again also to approval of resolution for condemnation, repair, or remove. The attached resolution is my recommendation for condemning the property listed. The resolution recommends 30 days to start the process of this removal or repair with the application of a building permit or demo permit. The property on 203 West First Street is blighted and dilapidated, damaged or unsecure, and the cleanup process has started. This seems to stall a little bit, but I am seeing progress on that one. I recommend action to approve resolution with the recommended days to start repair or removal, or as amended.
Okay, so this would just allow that 30-day clock to start to make sure that repairs are being done. And it
Correct.
sounds like we're starting repairs on that.
Correct.
Okay.
So have they applied for permits?
No, at the moment, there's just material being brought to the property. I know one window has been covered up or whatnot. I know some debris and whatnot has been cleaned up around the property. Permit has not been pulled yet, but that's why we're here today, so they've got 30 days to do that.
30 days to complete it,
30 days to get permit pulled
to pull
and to get started, and then we will monitor that throughout the 30
Okay.
days.
I move to approve resolution 2026-2222.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Thank you.
Yeah. The action agenda is that appropriation.
It's on here. Second. Third, fourth.
Second for that. What the hell?
Okay, we'll move on to the minutes of March 4th, 2026.
I'm going to approve the minutes of the March 4th, 2026 meeting.
Second,
There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in
There was one that it says Mayor Jackson in the minutes and it needs changed to Mayor Hutchison towards the top, unless your guys' is already corrected.
Thank you for that catch.
You're welcome.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, motion passes. Appropriation ordinance number 5.
I move to approve appropriation ordinance number 5.
Second,
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
I had a question on 1499. I think it's a part of the MIH grant.
What's 1499? Sorry.
What page it's in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't write that down.
It's on this 1499 is invoice for roof trusses, 429 West 8th Street
I'm assuming that's part of.
for Omen
MIA.
Construction.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the first infill home that's being constructed right now. And we had a portion of the grant funds set aside
Yeah.
for materials, just like over at St. Joe.
Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. Next, we have Highland Drive project, 7th Street, Doster Street, and 11th Street bids.
Commissioners, bids were solicited for the reconstruction of East Seventh Street from Matthew Street to Cloud Street and Mill Street, and the overlay of West 11th Street and Highland Drive on February 3rd, 2026. The city received bids from APAC, Kansas Shears Division, a Slime Branch, and Deal Enterprises as Salina. Sealed bids were opened on March 11th, 2026 at 2 p.m. Bid results followed. Apex Shears and Deal. Apex Shears, first off, was certainly more than what we had budgeted for. And Deal Enterprises was lower than what we anticipated. So we went Deal Enterprises. The engineers enterprise, our estimate was kind of in the ballpark of Deal Enterprise. So yeah, and I have Jason here if he has any to add to that.
Mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I mean, all stuff to me.
Maybe back up just a few steps. We bid this project combining 11th and Highland, which was previously bid. And we rejected those bids. We combined it with the 7th and Doster project. Which is why I'm struggling what to call this project concisely, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We did that in a couple different bidding possibilities. We established a base bid, or the minimum amount we wanted done being 7th Street from Matthew to Cloud, and Doster Street from 6th to 8th. Doster Street being the street that goes by the middle school and then on south past the little apartment complex that's in there. And that together with the mill and overlay of 11th and Highland, exactly in the same configuration that we bid once before. That is the base bid numbers that you see there. Then we asked contractors for a bid additive option number 1, which would be an option for the total reconstruction of 7th Street east of Cloud all the way out to the city limits, or that stretch that would be along the sports complex. And we received numbers for that separately. That's bid additive number 1. Bid additive number 2 would be an option for the contractors to do nothing but a mill and overlay in that same stretch of 7th east of Cloud Street along the sports complex. So you would go in there, you would leave the driveways, you would leave the curb alone, you would just mill out the asphalt and lay new asphalt in there. So that was the option for bid additive number 2.
So Jason, are you talking basically to like what on the map would be 9th Street, or even farther east past the gymnastics and towards the ecosystem?
No, it would stop at, if you're familiar out there, there's kind of that
Like
asphalt driveway on the east side of the sports complex, and
Yeah.
then there's a little bit of a ditch. That's about where the city limits are. That's where it would stop there then. 7th Street east of that, I believe, is actually out in the county. That's neither here nor there. Then bid additive 3 would be the option for the contractor to submit prices for the off-street parking that would be along Doster Street on that fronts the Acorn Apartments south of 7th Street. The city, in coordinating this project with city staff, we wanted the contractors to generate a price specifically for that work so that that landowner could be involved in the compensation of the payment for that work there then. That then breaks down the tabulation of what you see there of the base bids, separate from bid additive 1, separate from bid additive 2, separate from bid additive 3. The base bid for, as Shane mentioned, the base bid for Deal Enterprises was within a good reason of my engineer's estimate of the project, what the city approximately had budgeted for this project for those. The second bid from APAC Shears gave me the impression that they wanted to submit a bid, but they were certainly busy this summer and were just giving a price that if we get it, this is what we're going to do it for. When you see a number in a base bid for mobilization for $220,000, that tells me they may not have been super serious about wanting to do the project type of thing. Again, for your information, for future light reading when you're trying to fall asleep in bed, I did go in there and highlight some of the individual line items where I'm still seeing higher than statistical averages for prices for that. One of those being asphalt for this project, which is a direct reflection of the price of a barrel of oil, which is unfortunately a direct reflection, whether it's is or not, of things happening in our world today. And we did see higher prices for asphalt than not only the last year's average prices, but the last 5 years average prices for asphalt around the state as well too. So that would be something to keep in mind. That being said, I am still recommending to you tonight to pursue going into contract with Deal Enterprises out of Salina for only the base bid for this project, which would be the one that is closest to what the city was hoping to fund for this project, and save those additives for future reference, maybe even a future project. The good news is should you decide you want to do something east of Cloud Street at a later date, I have the plans and specifications done for that. So the city manager, Shane, called me and say, hey, we're now ready to do east of 7th Street. We're not reinventing the wheel. I pull those section of the plans out. We stick them under their own individual project. We go right back to a public bidding on that type of thing. Part of my recommendation also was to gather references for Deal Enterprises before the city would go into contract with them. They are new but not new to the city of Concordia as a contractor. You worked with Stanton Deal, has done some of the demo for demo projects here in town previously. He is now partnered with a residential developer in Salina, a man by the name of Craig Piercy, who I've worked with off and on for the last 20 years to form this Deal Enterprises. I have spoken to 3 references just today for them. All of them look to be favorable. Some of those projects are very similar to this project that we would be doing, that they're doing right now in the city of Salina. I spoke to private developers. I spoke to people at the city of Salina. I spoke to people at Saline County that they've done work with them before. They all gave them good reviews. Said they would get on a project, they would stay on a project. They wouldn't ask for more money than what the project was worth. All the things you want to hear when you're thinking about going into a contract with a contractor you haven't worked with before, type of thing. So I don't see any red flags there either. I'd be happy to answer any other questions you all might have on your mind regarding that.
Well, I appreciate you doing the work with reference checking. I think it's a name I'm not really familiar with.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I guess the main question I have really is probably about looking at east of Cloud and whether the integrity of Seventh Street is similarly compromised as that west of it. I mean, are we delaying the inevitable by delaying that project if it's the reason that we're having to redo everything west of there is because the road's so significantly compromised, right?
Sure. And let me tell you what I've seen, what I know as preparing this project to get to where we are now. One of the things we did was we went out and took some coring samples of what's out there right now to get an idea of, okay, is, like you said, is what we have east of Cloud Street the same as what we have west of Cloud Street? Is that the same? That's what's in Doster. They are similar in that they have approximately the same amount of existing asphalt pavement on top of approximately the same amount of an aggregate on top of dirt. That seems to be true anywhere in that section along in 7th Street, whether you're west of Cloud, east of Cloud. Just from a visual inspection, the asphalt pavement east of Cloud Street is in better shape than it is west of Cloud Street. This is probably just directly due to the amount of traffic that travels over those. I think a lot of traffic that is on the section west of Cloud either comes off of Cloud, either north or south and goes west, or they're coming out east and then going north and south on Cloud. And maybe not going all the way out the east end of town on Cloud Street. So I believe the asphalt pavement is in better shape east of Cloud Street. The curb and gutter is definitely in better shape east of Cloud Street. In fact, early on, that was one area where I thought if we needed to try to save the city cost, maybe we would leave that curb and gutter and those driveway entrances and just do the pavement between them type of thing. So it's hard to say, will we get 18 months from now and wish we had messed east of Cloud Street? Maybe, but we may get 18 months, 24 months, 36 months down the road, and it may be still in the same condition it is now as well, too, type of thing.
So if the curb and gutters are in decent shape as they are, then that would really make, if we were going to move forward between the addition 1 or 2, that the 2 would be the better option, right, for just the mill and overlay.
That would be my opinion.
And it maybe 10, 12%. Is it
It's not an insignificant cost, unfortunately. My estimations for just a mill and overlay east of 7th were significantly lower than where the bids came in. And I estimated it based upon, if we were going to do a mill and overlay east of Cloud, that they would do that portion of it for the same unit prices that they were going to do the portion west of Cloud Street. And that's not the case. They actually went in and increased the unit prices of some of the exact same things east of Cloud Street. And I don't know if that was potentially an uncertainty on their part of, would the city ask them to come back and do that at a later time and trying to cover some of that, or I can't attest to that. I wish we had gotten better prices for just the mill and overlay east of Cloud Street. I think it might have made it slightly more enticing than it is now, type of thing. It's not, in my mind's eye, I think of that stretch as a short stretch of 7th Street, and it's not actually. There's actually about 1,300 linear feet between Cloud, and it's actually a long section of street. So it's the price they have there is not unwarranted for sure. I don't know if that answers any of your question the way you were hoping I was going to answer your question, though.
Oh, I don't. It's information.
Sure.
I just don't know if there's economy in going ahead and doing it while we're there.
I know, and this, now we venture into the gray area of what do we think will happen with the prices of materials going forward? Is this the best price we're going to get for mill and overlay asphalt for the next 10 years? I don't know. Or will all this stuff in the Middle East settle itself out and the prices will go back down to something more like $125 a ton of asphalt instead of $195 a ton of asphalt, and you would get a better price in a year, 2 years, 3 years? Your guess is as good as mine, unfortunately, there. I was also cognizant of the fact of trying not to ask you to find a bunch of additional cost to pull out of your budget for something more than what maybe you were budgeting for this project.
Well, they tell me that we can find money, so I don't.
Say it again, I'm sorry. Okay.
Unfortunately, I mean, it requires, pulling from reserves or pushing back another project.
I mean, with that, what does that look like though? I mean, if we have to pull out reserves for this particular project,
We're
as
we're not in a position to be able to do the additive at this point in time. Until we have some more firm answers on some other things, other projects, but within capital outlay, the reallocation that's listed on page 2 of your memo is the best that we can do for this year. If we could, I really think that in this case, we should wait until next year and maybe take a look at going beyond Cloud Street next year and budget for that as part of CIP in fiscal year 27. Based on that recommendation, do we have a motion?
Move to approve the base bid from Deal Enterprises in the amount of $1,416,520.
Second.
The motion in a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. Thank you. We're now moving on to our many mutual aid agreements. Will you be addressing those all together and then? So we'll get started with Republic County.
Hunter has for you to sign afterward.
Great.
So Mayor, Commissioner, good evening. So these mutual aid agreements and auto aid agreements, they are a very standard document in fire and EMS service. The biggest purpose of having them is to ensure that we get reimbursed, and FEMA doesn't look at it as we were voluntarily going somewhere to help our neighbors out. No, we wouldn't normally go past our immediate neighbors unless it was like a declared disaster, and then at that point we're not voluntarily going. And then just these are a good way to have good relationships with our neighbors, all the way out Mitchell County, all the way Republic County, Clay County. We do have new neighbors now with our EMS districts changing. Second reason we're doing this is because of the National Emergency Reporting Information System, NERIS. It's replacing the legacy NINFRs, and it's all GIS based. So before, when we went to a call, it was just listed on a piece of paper. Now, when they look at national data, they see where we're really responding to with that GIS map. And then it's also a way for them to account for, you know, I may have 1,000 runs, Beloit or Mitchell County has 1,000 runs, but maybe we were actually running the same traffic wreck down by Glassgill on 24 highway. So 3 of those may actually be the same run number of the total count. So it's a way for them to kind of distinguish between that and really see some good national numbers. So that's the biggest reason they're pushing that on us. So we went with the fire map is the same one that we've used for decades, something from the State Fire Marshal's office. Nothing changing there. After we split up Miltonville EMS, that did change a few things on our EMS districts. We kind of worked through all that, partnered with everybody, split it up, the way we would want to see it. Kind of beneficial for everyone, as good as it could be. And then with that split up, talking with the Miltonville City Fire Department, that is who ran rescue in the old Miltonville EMS district. Asking them if they would, kind of partner with us, help us out a little bit. Taking on some of that 24 highway, area all the way to the county line. Just by doing that, it helps me, get 2 ambulances down to 24 highway, which on motor vehicle accidents, we respond with 2 ambulances quite often. And it is a long ways down there. It's a great way for them to utilize, some, equipment they've been buying, recently off grants and stuff. They do have a pretty good, truck now that they were able to get, and some, quality equipment. I am planning on having, some training with them at the junction, just because we've never trained, on, extrication, drill before. Hopefully we can get that done over the summer, kind of see what happens with these mutual aid agreements first. So in these mutual aid agreements, kind of listed out there what's in them. So the first 4 or 5 we have that are just basic mutual aid agreements. It just goes over what constitutes aid, how aid is requested, how we will respond to that request, who will be in charge of the incident, what equipment will be provided, compensation for the request. And that's an important one in there. Especially if it would become a disaster and there was FEMA money involved afterwards. And then of course liability, and all of them do state that we are responsible for our own equipment there, not whoever we're helping out at the time. Investigations that has to do with fires and who would investigate it, the training, hopefully that we put that in there, wanting these other entities to train with us a little bit so that we just know how each other operate. And then the last 2 is just the plans of how we execute the agreement, and then the effective date and duration. And all of these agreements would just be a permanent agreement that would replace anything that was before it. Like I said in my letter, we had a number of mutual aid agreements that were not kept real well. Only one of the other departments knew that we had an agreement of any kind, and then I'm also forming new ones with some of our other neighbors that are close by that we would definitely could end up working with. Any questions about the agreements themselves?
I appreciate having greater uniformity with them. Appreciate your effort.
Any other questions for John? Okay, let's get started.
I move to approve the mutual aid agreement with Republic County EMS.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Clyde, Kansas Fire Department Mutual Aid Agreement.
I move to approve the mutual aid agreement with Clyde, Kansas Fire Department.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Mitchell County EMS Mutual Aid Agreement.
Move to approve the mutual aid agreement with Mitchell County EMS.
Second?
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Clay County EMS Mutual Aid Agreement.
I move to approve the mutual aid agreement with Clay County EMS.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Minneapolis, Kansas EMS Mutual Aid Agreement.
I move to approve the mutual aid agreement with Minneapolis, Kansas EMS.
Second?
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor, or is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Clyde Ambulance Services Automatic Mutual Aid Agreement.
Move to approve the automatic mutual aid agreement with Clyde Ambulance Services.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. CNR Benefit Fire District One Automatic Mutual Aid Agreement.
I move to approve the automatic mutual aid agreement with CNR Benefit Fire District One.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Glasgow Rural Fire District Number Two Automatic Mutual Aid Agreement.
I move to approve the automatic mutual aid agreement with Glasgow Rural Fire District Number 2.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Miltonville Rural District Number Three Automatic Mutual Aid Agreement.
I move to approve the automatic mutual aid agreement with Miltonville Rural Fire District Number 3.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Cloud County Rural Fire District Number Four Automatic Mutual Aid Agreement.
I move to approve the automatic mutual aid agreement with Clyde County Rural Fire District Number 4.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to the manager's report.
Mayor and Commissioners, we still are exploring the opportunity to work with neighborhood legal services on use of the Kansas Abandoned Housing Act to be able to rehabilitate some homes in town. The piece of the puzzle that we're missing is to partner with a nonprofit agency that meets the IRS criteria to be able to hold property and process money back and forth. So we're working on partnering or collaborating with that nonprofit. And once we have that information, we'll bring more information to you to see if we want to proceed with that or not. It would likely be a collaboration that would begin in 2027 if it's something you choose to proceed with. But what it would do would allow us an opportunity to acquire property, partner with a rehabilitator to rehabilitate homes that we would normally condemn and tear down. And then at the end of the project, we would end up with a home that was habitable and would be a little bit more affordable in the $100,000 to $125,000 range for people. So it could actually serve everyone better than a vacant lot at the end of that process. So we're exploring that a little bit further. Also pleased to report that the 2026 Neighborhood Revitalization Program interlocal agreement was approved by the state, and wanted to give a huge thank you to Tim Bimes at Cloud Corp and Kim Wins at the County Appraiser for working very hard on getting that language together and working with all of the entities to get that approved. So good job, Tim.
Thank you.
Several things coming up next week. I was invited to participate with the USD 333 strategic planning session with the stakeholder group. We had our first meeting last week, and the next meeting will be on Monday. I think Mr. DeBush said that if you knew of anybody that wanted to be a part of those meetings, let him know, and then come join that on Monday to have a say in kind of what happens with our students in our district going forward. We'll participate in senior interview day on Tuesday as a panelist for workforce development. So that'll be really kind of neat to visit with the kids and see what they think and compare them to what we're seeing here. On Wednesday, we'll travel to Hayes to make another presentation to the Dane G. Hansen Forum on our housing project and our partnership with the hospital, specifically how that collaboration worked for mutual benefit of everyone in the community. And then Thursday and Friday, we'll be traveling again for League of Kansas Municipalities Governing Body meetings in Manhattan. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Okay, thank you for that. We'll move on to staff reports.
Just gonna let everybody know that the house on Fifth Street that was burnt is down on the ground. Lot is not cleared yet, but it is in the works. We have certain nuisances and it's going.
That was ominous.
I'll give a little update on the highway project. I think they're gonna start doing striping Friday, you said? Yeah, so that's good. Hopefully they'll come to a close pretty quickly and we get snowflakes down. So. It's pretty late. And then tree planter boxes are coming right along. We got 4 of them poured. They're getting ready to put the grates on. They've been working on getting the brick put back together. So yeah, that's what I know.
So what trees are you putting in?
I got 4 different trees I selected. top of my head, I think. In the mid block, there's gonna be some Calmer oak trees, couple, just two, not too much, and then across from them will be some Sergeant Crabapples, smaller trees. They'll have little crab apples, but they won't be near the mess that was down there now. And then on the east and west sides of the roads, there'll be Taylor junipers. Those are a tight juniper tree that'll give color year round downtown. So, and then I think I went with an armor maple going down the street. I think it's a red color. If I'm not mistaken. It's been a minute since I looked at them, but yeah, I got 4 different species of trees going down there. So I think it'll give a lot of different color downtown. And really, and I selected those trees also with in mind with the snowflakes that are up there. I didn't want the trees engulfing the snowflakes when we were hanging our snowflakes up, and so there's some service lines and whatnot that are running through the town. So I kind of tried to. It's tough to get the right tree.
You're right.
And the right habitat. So yeah, but it's gonna look real good.
Thank you.
You bet.
Any other staff reports tonight? Okay, move on to Mayor Commissioner reports, and we'll start with Commissioner Jackson.
I don't have anything this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't have anything. Marsha? Okay. I think I am remiss in not welcoming our high school students tonight, and you probably have some papers for us to sign. So can we take a brief moment to do that before we go to executive session? Okay. go
I
ahead.
still think they should wait.
Just whatever on that is fine.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
There's a lot.
once one signature would be Christie. I signed one, I'll let her.
Thought I was being selfish with those mutual aid agreements.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Can't read it. It's all right.
Another job.
Right. A motion for executive session.
I move that the city commission recess into executive session to discuss confidential business data or trade secrets of a business, KSA 75-4319B4, with Amy Lang and Justin Farrell in attendance, and to reconvene in the city commission chamber at, let's see, 634.
Can we amend your motion to invite Tim Bimes?
And Tim Bimes.
Give a second.
Second.
Been a motion and a second to move into executive session. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. We're in executive session.
Selling, breaking out the door. Baby, that's how.
Okay, we're going to. Not the. Session. No action was taken.
Move to adjourn?
Second,
There's been a motion and a second to adjourn. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
aye.
Okay, all those opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned.
Hey, Rob.